Hi everybody, at least I hope there's somebody out there. My name is Dean Nelson, sometimes I'm called Dr. Dean, and I wanted to introduce you to the book Awakening Your Happy. We settled around that title with a bit of a struggle, but I think it will stick. I think the first thing to cover is just really how much happiness drives your life. I quoted the Dalai Lama in the book, and he says the entire purpose of your life is to get happy. I think if you start to look at it, everything from getting out of bed to having coffee to brushing your teeth to going to work to all the myriad things, you can start to see it through the lens that you're constantly struggling to get to this aha moment of complete joy or complete happiness. So it's a little bit different frame of what happiness is, for sure. You know, it's interesting that they say the most popular class that's ever been given at Yale the last few years has been a class on happiness. So it certainly is a subject that people are starting to really explore. I think partly also was started to become in the forefront because the Prime Minister of Bhutan addressed the United Nations, say, purpose of a culture or a country isn't to produce gross national product, but gross national happiness. So joy and compassion and happiness is really the theme of the book. I'm kind of approaching it from three ways. The first one is it's the function of you could say, the function of you being happy. The function of you is to keep you preoccupied with you. And so the first part of the happiness is how to bring the noise down out of your head. Modern MRI technology say we have almost 60,000 thoughts a day. Classic Buddhism, by the way, says we have 84,000 thoughts a day. So that's the filter that you're seeing through life with. I call it a babysitter. You're constantly grading, judging, and kind of looking at yourself as you're proceeding through life, which kind of puts you a step back from actually living it, a step back from actually resting in kind of your nature of beingness, which is, quite frankly, the most beautiful high or sexy or joyous way you can be is just to start to know what your nature is, your beingness. But the first thing is, as I said, to reduce this babysitter that's constantly looking out for you and seeing if you are okay, this you. So that's the first part. The second part is how to actually get out of your head. So you have a haze of thousands and tens of thousands of thoughts a day, and that's the filter you're bringing your life in. So how do you fire that part of your intake and hire another place, which is your heart? And again, your beingness is more accessible, and this is also partly why I'm in nature when I do these retreats and why I've written the book, is it inherently dials us into being into a more heartfelt place where we can start to just let that noise go and drop to your heart. Just experience your interactiveness with life and feel life, feel joy, feel compassion from a literally different place in the body. And the third part of the book has to do with further relaxing into that interactiveness, that beingness, that joy of being, or the power of being, or the power of now. But my frustration was with so many books is that they were heavy on theory and short on how to do it on a moment-to-moment in your daily life training. So the book goes over, I think, almost 44 different ways of kind of interrupting your life into this extraordinary process called living. You know, if you think about the species as a whole, we Homo sapiens, the wise guys, the smart people, if we've been on the planet 24 hours, if you could see our 200,000 year history in a 24-hour period, in 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 30 seconds, that's how long it took us to get to 2 billion of us on the planet. 23 hours, 59 minutes, 30 seconds. In the last 30 seconds, we've gone from 2 billion to 7 billion. we are such a dominant species on the planet, and it feels like we actually have the sense that we landed here from outer space and that we aren't a part of this magnificent process of being on the earth. So the last part of the book has to do with the magical awakening to the privilege of life, how to really inherently relax and rest in the nature of your being, sometimes called non-dual presence, sometimes called Atit, sometimes Dzogchen in the Tibetan tradition. So thank you for joining me on this journey. You'll see that I always am speaking to you somewhere in nature. Right now you're outside of Capitola, California on the Monterey coast, magnificent place. And I'm going to advocate strongly. Many of these practices are dependent on you moseying out to a park or getting out in nature. So aloha, it's great to be with you, and I'll continue these short little vignettes through the book. Bye-bye.